Hi, this is Lisa Rangel with Chameleon Resumes, a premier executive resume writing company, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we're going to talk about why the job search has become so hard. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why the job search is a hell of a lot harder today than it has been in the past. And this is just so you can be aware of what's going on out there so you can set up your plan accordingly. This is not to be doom and gloom, but I am a big believer in order to fix a problem, you have to accept the reality of your situation in order to come up with the plan to make everything better. So that's the context in which I mean this. This is not to be doom and gloom. So with that said, one of the first reasons why the job search is harder today than it has been in the past is job applications are up 30%. Jim Stroud of SourceCon posted in the recent past, that job applications are up 30%. So you are up against a lot more people when you submit through job boards. So it's a fact, right? You can like it, you can not like it. It just is what it is. The second reason why the job search is harder today than it has been in the past is because open jobs are down. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, jobs from December 2022 to jobs open in December of 2023 are down just over about 25%. So, your applications are up, your job openings are down, right? So you have fewer job openings with more people applying. I mean, I could probably end the list right here because that's enough of a reason why the job search is harder today than it has been in the past. But there's a few more, so we're going to keep going. The third reason why the job search is harder today than it has been in the past is because executive recruitment engagements are down also. A lot of people have depended on third-party recruiters to find them a job or get placed by a third-party recruiter. They haven't had to do a lot of networking in the past. They, didn't really apply to job boards, but they did get calls from executive recruiters. Well, according to Scanlon, one of the premier executive search firms that does a lot of tracking and deal making, merger and acquisition activity amongst search firms, acquiring each other and doing deals together, they've noticed that the revenues of executive search firms in 2023 have gone down quite a bit as well. So if you've depended on job postings and those are down, and if you've depended on third-party recruiters, then those are down also, right? So that's another reason why, or 3 reasons total why it's been harder. And again, I could probably stop the list there, but I'm going to keep going. The fourth reason why the job search is a lot harder is recruiting technology, right? Job posting, candidate experience technology, and applying for the jobs. The recruiting technology has made it easier for candidates to apply. Now, this is a good thing on many levels, right? Because you want the candidate experience to be easy. But when the candidate experience is easy, right, just a simple easy apply button, the downside to that is candidates don't really give a lot of thought, especially if they're not working and really need to work. And they, instead of think how they're qualified for the job and apply, they instead think, I can do that. And they don't connect the dots as to how they could do that, and they just apply. So now that also contributes to the surge in applications that you're up against. Because, when people are actually qualified versus when they think they're qualified, those are 2 different things from a recruiter standpoint, because, just because people think they're able to do it doesn't necessarily mean they're qualified to do it, or they're not communicating to the recruiter, how they're qualified to do it, right? So I'm all about giving people a new chance, transferable skills, right? I've hired people who haven't done what I've hired them to do before, but I can see the possibility in their transferable skills based on what they've done. I'm all for that. But if the reader isn't getting that dot connected for them, it's going to be a resume they're going to probably take the time to read and pass on, but you multiply that over a 30% increase in applicants applying, that's another reason why you're getting a slow response if you get a response at all, because recruiters got to go through all those resumes, whether they're, relevant or applicable or not. So, the ease in the technology is awesome, but it does have a backlash, and that is a lot of people now apply. So, and recruiters got to make their way through all those candidates. And the fifth reason why it's become harder to land a job, or to do the job search, I should say, which is landing a job, is that the job descriptions, right? Whether you're applying through networking, whether you're applying through an applicant tracking system, job posting vehicle, or you're going through a third-party recruiter, the job descriptions are nebulous, right? They're very unclear, or they're unrealistic. So that contributes to the, multiple interviews and rounds of evaluation and different tests, because everybody's wanting the candidate to do so many things in one job. And in many cases, it's unrealistic. I don't have really job description stats per se, but if you follow Katrina Kibben and just pay attention to she is a job description writing expert. She has really great examples of when things are not clear, poorly written, shooting for that purple squirrel that doesn't exist, and very unrealistic, all the things, right? That's why it's a business, because there's a lot of really poorly done job descriptions out there. But when you're a candidate trying to customize your resume, but make sure it's still in alignment with your profile, and these jobs are unrealistic or unclear or both, it makes it harder to be evaluated. It makes it harder to show how you're qualified. And then combine this with a 30% surge in candidates applying. I mean, it's a hot mess on the other side, right? So, getting that, I share this with you because I want you to see, as a job seeker, both the sides of the recruiter and your side. It's important for you to know both sides, what's going on, so you can be more strategic in how you combine your efforts into putting yourself out there, not just your marketing presentation, but also the tactics you use to land a job. And if you want to learn more about what's going on behind the scenes with recruiters, I have a monthly event. I call it the Pop-Up Career Chat. You can register for the next one, popupcareerchat.com. And I monthly host just a fireside type chat. There's no PowerPoints, there's no instructions, there's no formulas to follow. It's just simply me and a recruiting expert, or a recruiting expert that is, or an expert that is tangential to the recruiting field, either compensation or, executive coaching, but anyone related to leadership recruiting that can shed light on what's going on that other side of hiring. And I want to give you firsthand glimpse into what's going on. So register for my next Pop-Up Career Chat. Go to popupcareerchat.com, and you'll see who I'm featuring next, and you can sign up for that Zoom link. And again, we're not selling anything at the end of those Pop-Up Career Chats, so it is just strictly peeking behind the curtain in the executive recruiting world to see how you can make your presentation better. So I hope that helps. If you like this video, I'm going to ask you to like it. If you know someone who will benefit from these inside scoops of how recruiting works, I'm going to ask you to share this. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to comment below or send me a DM or an email. I'm at lr@chameleonresumes.com. And if you have not subscribed to the Chameleon Resumes channel or followed my profile, I'm going to suggest that you do that so you do not miss next week's video. Have a great day. Thank you so much for being here. Take good care.